Our objective today is to be able to use exponents and simplify expressions with exponents. Similar to our lesson yesterday or the other day, we have 3 vocabulary terms. We'll be using the same terms today: exponent, base, and power. I won't read through them because you should be familiar with them already. We know that we have the power is the base number and the exponent together. The base number represents the factor that is being used. The exponent represents how many times that factor is being multiplied. All right. When I'm using exponents, I write 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 using an exponent. The base number and the exponent, if I name them, my base number is 3 because that's my factor. My exponent is 4 because 3 is being used as a factor 4 times. The area of the square is 3 times 3, or 3 squared. All right, we talked about that the other day as well, where I have the length is 3, the width is 3, right? Or the length of the side times itself. 3 times 3 gives you 9 square units for the area of this figure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 square units. When we talk about a cubic, the volume is 4 times 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16 times 4 is 64. There'd be 4 or 64 cubes that make up this cube. And you can actually see we have one row of 16 here, cubes, another row of 16, 16, and 16. That would be 64 cubes. Today's lesson is more of evaluating expressions that include exponents using the order of operations, right? And that's going to be key. The order of operations says that we do all operations with parentheses first. And the reason why we need this order of operations is if we did not have rules that universally we follow all over the world as far as which operations come first to solve problems. If we don't have these rules, different people will look at the same problem and get different answers. So we need these rules that we use, and we call them the order of operations. Do all parentheses first, then we do exponents, we do multiplication and division from left to right, then we do addition and subtraction from left to right. And the key is that from left to right. Too many students think that, they're given an acronym: please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, Pemdas, which usually represents parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. And when they see this acronym, students tend to think, oh, multiplication comes before division. No. Multiplication and division we do in order from left to right. So if division comes before multiplication when we're evaluating an expression from left to right, the division would be done first because we do it from left to right. Students look at this acronym and think, oh, addition comes before subtraction. No, addition would only come before subtraction if it's in order from left to right. But if we're looking at an expression and subtraction comes before addition, when I read that in order from left to right, we would do the subtraction first. So it's really important that we obey these rules. Okay? Here's an example. If I'm looking at 3 times 7 squared plus 18 divided by 2, which operation has to be done first? Well, we have to do the parentheses. And within the parentheses, the exponent's done first. So that's what's done in our first step. 7 squared, which is 49. We still have to do within the exponents. And within the exponents, the next step would be 18 divided by 2, which is 9. So now we have 18 divided by 2, which is 9. I still have not finished that parentheses yet. I have 49 plus the 9, that's going to be 58. Now I can multiply 3 times 58, and that's where we're going to get 174. So when we're simplifying expressions with exponents, we really have to be careful that we follow our order of operations. And we're going to do a lot of examples. All right? So let's start with a little review. I have 3 to the 6th power. My base is 3. My exponent's 6. 6 to the 2nd power. Base is 6. Exponent's 2. 8 to the 4th power. Base is 8. Exponent's 4, right? Real quick review. If I write expression using the exponent, name the base in the exponent. Writing this expression using the exponent would be 9 to the third power, right? And 9 to the third power, my base is 9. My exponent, I'll abbreviate, is going to be 3. My next example, I have 6 is my base number. It's being used as a factor 4 times, right? So my base is 6. My exponent is going to be 4. In my last example, I have 1 is my base number. It's being used as a factor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So my base is 1. My exponent, and I'll abbreviate that, is 5. Right? If I continue with these examples, simplifying the expression using the exponent, I always like for my students to write the power as a product of its factors. So I would write this as 6 times 6, and then I'd evaluate it. It's going to be 36. If I write 3 to the 5th power as a product of its factors, that's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And then I multiply. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. 27 times 3 is 81. 81 times 3 would be 243. 10 to the 4th power. I want to write the power as a product of its factors. That's 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. I multiply. 10 times 10 is 100, times 10 is 1,000, times 10 would be 10,000. Now we want to simplify the expression, so we have to obey the order of operations with each one of these problems. You know, these are rather simple, but we'll take one step at a time. This is 4 to the 2nd power is 16, plus 5 to the 2nd power is 25. I can now add 16 and 25. It's going to give me 41. Here, 2 to the 3rd power. That's 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So my next line should look like this. 2 times 6 minus 8. I have to do my multiplication now before I can do the subtraction. 2 times 6 is 12. We have 12 minus 8. 12 minus 8 is going to be 4. My next example, 6 squared is 36, plus 4 squared is 16. Now we can add 36 and 16, that's 46, that's what, 52. Here we have to do the exponent first, so that's going to be 25, but then I still have 5 plus that, minus 2. Addition and subtraction we do from left to right, so 5 plus 25, that's going to be 30, minus 2, and that's going to be 28. 24 divided by 4 plus 2 to the 4th power. I have to do my exponent before I can do the division. So I'm going to recopy 24 divided by 4 plus 2 to the 4th power. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. The division has to be done before the addition. 24 divided by 4 is 6. So I have 6 plus 16. That's going to be 22. Example 15, within the parentheses, I have to do the exponent before I can do the division. So it's going to look like 9 plus 40 divided by 2 to the 3rd power is 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. Now I have to do the division because it's within the parentheses before I can do the addition. So this becomes 9 plus 40 divided by 8 is 5. 9 plus 5 is going to be 14. Our last few problems, I have to do the parentheses first. Within the parentheses, I have to do the exponent before I do addition. So this is going to look like this. 16 plus 4 in the parentheses. Then it's divided by 5. 16 plus 4 has to be done next before the division because it's in the parentheses. 16 plus 4 is 20. Divide that by 5. That's going to be 4. This next example, parentheses has to be done first, but within the parentheses I have to do the exponent. So I recopy the 10 times 30 minus 5 squared is 25. So my first step was the exponent. Now I can do the subtraction within the parentheses, so that's 10 times. 30 minus 25 is 5. Now I can do the multiplication. 10 times 5 is 50. Example 18. I have to do the 3 squared first, and I have to do the exponent before I can do the division. So this is going to be 12 plus 18. I recopy. Divided by 3 squared is 9. I have to do the division before I do addition. So 12 plus 18 divided by 9 is 2. 12 plus 2, oops, erase that. 12 plus 2 is going to be 14. Next page, we're going to do a bunch of these, right? We're going to get better. So I look here at this expression. I have to do the exponent within the parentheses first, right? I look at the parentheses, and within the parentheses I have to do the exponent before the addition. So this becomes 30 divided by 7 plus 2 to the third power is 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. Close that parentheses times 6. I just do one step at a time. I just want to do that exponent step. Now I do the parentheses. So this is 30 divided by 7 plus 8 is 15 times 6. Multiplication and division I do from left to right. So 30 divided by 15 is 2 times 6. We get 12. And notice that we do these problems line at a time. Circle or box your answers. All right. Let's look at the on your own problems here. We got a lot of good examples, right? We'll do one of these at a time. Do number 1, right? 7 times 5 plus 3. We have to do multiplication first. So 7 times 5 is 35, right? Plus the 3, that's going to be 38. Problem number 2. We have 28 minus 20. Divide that by 4. Parentheses has to be done first. 28 minus 20 is 8. We divide that by 4. 8 divided by 4 is going to be 2. Problem 3. We have 6 times 15 minus 10 divided by 2. All right, I don't see any parentheses and I don't see any exponents. So I go right to my multiplication and division step. Multiplication has to be done before division. So 6 times 15, well, that's going to be 60 plus 30, so that's going to be 90, minus 10 divided by 2. Next step has to be your division step. So that's 90 minus 10 divided by 2 is 5. 90 minus 5 should be 85. All right, let's take a look at problem number 4. We have 6 plus 2 to the 4th power minus 1. I have to do my exponent first. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. So this is 6 plus 16 minus 1. Addition and subtraction we do from left to right. So my 6 plus 16 has to be done first. So that's 22 minus 1, which would be 21. Problem 5. 4 times 3 squared plus 18 minus 9. My exponent has to be done before multiplication. So this becomes 4 times 9 plus 18 minus 9. Multiplication has to be done before addition or subtraction. 4 times 9 is 36 plus 18 minus 9. Addition and subtraction we do from left to right. So 36 plus 18 is what? 54 minus 9. That's going to be what? 45. And then problem 6. This is 16 plus 5 squared. Oops. Let's undo that. 16 plus 5 squared minus 7 divided by 3. Parentheses first. But in the parentheses, I have to do my exponent first. So recopy the 16. 5 squared is 25 minus 7. Divide that by 3. Once I evaluate the exponent, I still have to finish my parentheses. 25 minus 7 is going to be what? 18. So that's 16 plus 18 divided by 3. Division has to be done before addition. So this is 16 plus 18 divided by 3 is 6. 16 plus 6, 22. All right. You may want to try these on your own, so stop the video, turn it back on, come back, and you can check your work. So I'll do number 7. I guess I can go right beneath it since we have the room, so we'll do that. Think about what has to be done first. Parentheses. So this is going to be 50 plus 6 parentheses. 12 divided by 4 is 3 minus 8 squared. Now your exponent has to be done before anything else. So this is 50 plus, undo that. Do that again. So that's 50 plus 6 times 3 minus 8 squared is 64. Addition has to be done, and addition and subtraction we do from left to right. But before that, I have to do the multiplication. So multiplication next, we have 50 plus 6 times 3 is 18, minus 64. Addition and subtraction we do from left to right. 50 plus 18 is 68, minus 64. That should be 4. Right, a lot of steps there. With your next example, 5 squared minus 5. Parentheses has to be done first. So 10 minus 5 is 5. Exponent has to be done next. 5 squared is 25 minus, now I can do 5 times 5, which is 25. 25 minus 25 is going to be 0. This last example here, parentheses has to be done first. So 3 plus 4 is 7. We're dividing by 7. Multiplication has to be done next. 8 times 7 is 56 over 7. And that's going to give me 8. Because 56 divided by 7 is going to be 8. Right, and now we just have a bunch of examples. You could try these on your own. And then, come back and check the video, see how we did. Right, 2 to the 3rd power is 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. So that's 8 minus 6 divided by 3. Division has to be done next, so that's 8 minus 6 divided by 3 is 2. 8 minus 2 is 6. Example 2. Exponent has to be done first. So 1 plus 11 times 11 is 121 minus 20 divided by 2. Division has to be done next. So this is 1 plus 121 minus 20 divided by 2 is 10. Addition and subtraction we do from left to right. 1 plus 121 is 122 minus 10. That should be 112. This last example, we have parentheses has to be done first. So this is 5 plus. 2 plus 1 is 3, but whatever is inside this parentheses has to be squared. Right? So we found what's inside the parentheses, 2 plus 1, but now we have to square it. So this is 5 plus 3 squared is 9. And that's going to be 14. Right, some more examples here, right? Some tough problems. Once again, right, you guys can try these on your own, right? But they are definitely some challenging problems, right? We'll take one at a time. What has to be done first here? Correct. Right, have to do what's in the parentheses. And there's addition and subtraction within the parentheses. So this is 10. Redo that. I have to do my 10 plus 43 first. So within the parentheses, that's going to be 53 minus 5 divided by 6 plus 5 squared. 53 minus 5 is what? 48. So that's 48 divided by 6 plus 5 squared. My exponent has to be done next because I finished with my parentheses. So I have to do the exponent. That's 48 divided by 6 plus 5 squared is 25. I can now do the division. 48 divided by 6 is 8. So that's 8 plus 25. That's going to give me 33 as my answer there. Example 5. I have my parentheses. Has to be done first. I'll do the parentheses from left to right. Or next, within the parentheses, I have to do the exponent first. So this is going to be 10 plus, guess that's 59 minus 3 squared is 9, divided by 24 minus 4, that's going to be 20. Do the parentheses first. I have to finish this parentheses. Addition and subtraction we do from left to right. So 10 plus 59 is 69 minus 9 divided by 20. 69 minus 9 is 60 divided by 20, and that should be 3. Right. I look at our next example, example 6. I have to do my parentheses first. So within my parentheses, I have 6 plus 4 is 10, but that has to be squared, plus, within this parenthesis, I have to do the division first. 10 divided by 2 is 5, so that's 11 plus 5. Still have to finish that parenthesis, so I recopy the 10 squared. 11 plus 5 is 16. Now I finish my parentheses, I can go to my exponent. 10 squared is 100 plus the 16. That's going to be 116. Now here we have what's called a bracket. Right? A bracket is another type of grouping symbol. Anytime I have multiple grouping symbols, I have to work my way from the inside out. So I start at the innermost grouping symbol, and that's the 6 minus 3. So I'm going to recopy 3 parentheses 4 bracket 13 minus 2 times 6 minus 3 is 3. Close the bracket. Within the bracket, I still have the multiplication. So this is 3 plus 4 bracket. 13 minus 2 times 3 is 6. Now I have to do the subtraction because I'm working my way inside the grouping symbols out. So this is 3 plus 4. Now this 4 outside the bracket means multiplication. 13 minus 6 is 7. So now I can do the multiplication before I do the addition. 4 times 7 is 28. So this is 3 plus 28, which should give us 31. All right. Example 8. I have my exponents, no parentheses, so I do my exponents first. So this is going to be 14 plus 6 times 2 to the third power is 8 minus 8 divided by 2 squared is 4. All I did was evaluate my exponents. Now I have to do my multiplication steps next, and the multiplication and division we do from left to right. So this is 14 plus 6 times 8 is 48 minus 8. Minus 8 divided by 4. 8 divided by 4 is going to be 2. Now addition and subtraction we do from left to right. 14 and 48, that is going to be 62 minus 2. That looks like that should be 60. Example 9. We have, let's see, exponents first. So this is 5 plus 4 squared is 16 times 8 minus 2 to the third power is 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8 divided by 2 squared is 4. All we did was evaluate each one of our exponents. Now I do multiplication and division from left to right. So this is 5 plus 16 times 8 is 80 and 48. So that should be 128 minus 8 divided by 4 is 2. Addition and subtraction we do from left to right. 5 and 128 should be 133 minus 2. I believe that should be 131. Then this last example on this page, I have to do my exponent first. So this is 5 parentheses. 3 squared is 9 plus 2, right? We have to do the parentheses within the exponent, or the exponent within the parentheses. Minus 2 parentheses. 6 squared is 36. 5 squared is 25. So your first step, do the exponents within the parentheses. Now we can do our parentheses. 9 plus 2 is 11. Minus 2 times 36 minus 25 is also 11. We do our multiplication. 5 times 11 is 55. 2 times 11 is 22. 55 minus 22 should be 33. All right, we do have just a few more examples. You guys can try these on your own, right? Give it a shot. And then I'd say, come back, turn on the video or start it and check your answers. But we'll do each one of these as well. We have a parenthesis, so I have to do within the parenthesis first. So within the parentheses, this is going to be 30 divided by 7 plus 2 to the third power is 8, and then times 6. Finish the parentheses, so that's 30 divided by 7 plus 8 is 15 times 6. Now here's an example where multiplication and division we have to do from left to right, and the division comes first from left to right. So 30 divided by 15 is a 2 times 6. That should be 12. We have a parenthesis, and within the parenthesis we have an exponent, so that's 15 times 12 minus 3 squared is 9 divided by 9. To finish the parentheses, 15 times 12 minus 9 is 3. Then we divide by 9. I have to do my multiplication and division from left to right. So 15 times 3 is 45 divided by 9. That's going to be 5. And then this last example here, we have parentheses, so that has to be done first. 15 minus 4. 6 plus 1 is 7. I'm dividing that by 2 to the second power. All I did was my parentheses. Now I do my exponent, so that's 15 minus 4 times 7 divided by 2 squared is 4. Now I do multiplication and division from left to right, so there's my multiplication. So that's 15 minus 28 divided by 4. I do division before I can do subtraction, so that's 15 minus 28 divided by 4 is 7. 15 minus 7 should be 8. All right. A couple more. All right, we'll do these last two. All right, I think, yeah, we'll just do these last two. We have a parenthesis, but within the parenthesis we have an exponent. So this is 16 plus 25 minus 7 divided by 3. Have to finish the parentheses. So if 16 plus 25 minus 7 is 18, divide that by 3. Division has to be done before addition. So that's 16 plus 18 divided by 3 is 6. 16 plus 6, 22. In our last example, parentheses has to be done first. So I recopy 5 squared minus 20 plus 3, and I just do the parentheses. 24 minus 18 is 6. Now I can do my exponent. 5 squared is 25 minus 20 plus 3 times 6. Multiplication has to be done before any addition. So that's 25 minus 20 plus 18. 3 times 6 is 18. 25 minus 20, I do addition and subtraction from left to right. So that's 5 plus 18, and that's going to be 23. All right, we did a lot of problems here today, and you guys will practice these, and hopefully we work hard and we get better. All right, thank you.